Hello everybody, this is Koyo again. This is the stream version, this is the stream broken down for you guys at home, as I like to say, uh, watching, who didn't have time to make it to the stream. And this is the cut down best parts or important parts of Xenogears. You already know the deal if you're watching from this episode onward. You know who you are, for those who've been keeping up. If you're jumping into here later, that's fine. I tend to catch people up on what's going on simply by talking about, how this scene relates to an earlier one, etc. The things of that kind of nature. So don't be afraid if you were just suddenly checking out this episode out of curiosity because you feel you know what happens in the beginning of the game. Regardless, let's continue. So now the plan is set. They're gonna have Faye enter into the arena, and Bart will sneak in to the into the palace while everyone's distracted by Faye putting on a show. Oh right, whoops. We're not supposed to talk to you. We need to talk to the our nun person in this room right here. Any new information? Good ideas? Tomorrow is the tournament. There will be there will be betting at the arena. Surely the soldiers' minds will be more on the tournament than their job. We must use this to our advantage. What do you mean? Faye will participate. We will have him put on a big show there. Oh, and if you guys hear a fan in the background, that's because it's hot. It is hot these days. Actually, it has cooled down though, so I'm gonna turn that off for now. I'm gonna turn off my fan, see how we do. It's been a little cooler today at least. I just needed to cool down my room earlier. Okay, I'm sure today is the last day to sign up for the tournament. You'd better register soon. No need to worry, Faye already registered. Even using that as a ploy, how will you really get into the castle? We gotta get more info. Sure, we'll get a good idea from somewhere. Very well. If we get any good ideas, we'll meet back here and plan our strategy. So now, what we also gotta do is we gotta find out about the fact that we can take the sewer system to get into the place. So if we, was it right here's where we'll be sneaking in. We gotta find out who will let us in, essentially. Alright. And then there's that kid we beat at hide and seek. That was hilarious. Now I'm trying to remember which was the NPC who basically tells us, oh yeah, wait, actually there was that old guy. Maybe now that we've flagged that we gotta sneak in, maybe we could actually use that. I've been doing laundry here for 60 years. The water's the only thing that hasn't changed. There's a spring flowing beneath the castle. I was worried that when the king died, the water would stop too, but it didn't. That old guy down there in charge of the water won't budge an inch, even for Shakan. Yeah, he's the great guy. My childhood friend. No good, no good. You won't open it without the key. Many years ago, a kid got lost down there. I think it was the kid from the armor store. So that means we go to the armor store now. Which I believe was right here, or the building right next door. Oh, this is the guy who's like, oh, I thought that was my son. Yeah, we know about this already. A lot of sad info. All these sons getting sent to war. Okay, no, that's the weapon shop. So we don't need that. Okay, so I thought that was the armor shop. I guess it's the one opposite here, from memory. Oops. Oh my gosh. I guess it was this building right here. Oh, wait. I just realized the stream's not showing... Oh, it is. No, it's showing the chat. Okay, I was just making sure that was visible. This is not the armor store. Why do I forget where the armor store was? This always happens to me. I'm like, okay, I remember it being here, and I'm like, oh, it's not there. Oops. Oopsie poopsie. Okay. Moving on. Armor store kid. Armor store kid. Who was managing the armor store? Where are they? I don't think it was this place. This was the house that leads to the ceiling area. That's the inn. This is the Ethos shop. And that's not managed by a kid from memory. So where was the flippin' armor shop? Because I remember we did go in there. Where? Let's check some of these other little areas. Oh wait, here's an armor shop. Okay, so there's a kid somewhere. Probably the one next door. Hopefully they aren't just one of the kids wandering around outside, because I mean oh, there we go. My brother says he's he's over. He's over playing hide and seek, but now he has nothing to do. He's probably just wandering around the area. He's still such a child. Well, yeah, we totally kicked his ass at hide and seek, but we still don't have a key. So, and we just spoke to him. We don't have a key yet. And it's not this kid. Because, yeah, it was the hide and seek kid who's over it now. I'm the cat and I'm taught. This was still funny interaction. Okay, I'm gonna pause on the recording side of things. I thought we would just move right ahead. I'm so sorry about that. All right, so we found the kid. Here he is. It turns out you have to, what we did, we have to talk to the old man, then we could get the key, or we could talk about the key to go down. It's been a while since anyone's asked me about that. Everyone wanted to know about it back then. Well, I was still a kid when I hid in there. Actually, I got lost. Pretty embarrassing. At first, I thought I could follow the current out, but the grill stopped me. So I swam against the current. The speed of the current is always changing, so if your timing's off, it's really tough. I hear it's the opening and closing of the floodgate that changes the speed of the current. But if you keep going against the current, you'll end up right under the castle. I was scared stiff by the manager guy there. The lid to the well's been locked since then. It was a great place to hide, but it's no place for amateurs. Huh? The key? The old guy is always who's sitting on the bench by the east well has it. What? Well, shoot! Why didn't he give us the key? Maybe it's under his butt. Because after all, he's like, oh yeah, the key, blah blah blah, right? So, bro, give us the key. Oops, sorry, the dialogue over there is preventing us. The well key? I've got it. Well, dude, why don't you just give me it? I'm in charge of the Waterworks Association. What are you gonna do with the key? I mean, everyone hates the castle, but I'm gonna steal from the castle. You know what? This is a funny thing. You big fools. You kids are thinking of playing around and living the easy life while other kids out there are spilling their blood on the battlefield. Shame on you. Shame. You don't deserve to live here. This whole town is rotting away. Damn that Shakan. So, you know what's funny? Yeah. So what's really funny here is everyone else in this town was all talking about, oh, the Empire has sent our child away to the war. They sent our sons away. There's only the ladies left. There's only there's daughters managing their father's stores. It's, you can imply, wow, things are pretty bad then. This empire kind of sucks that they're sending everybody there, or even, to this war. Or also on top of that, they also talk about some situations where they're like, man, what are the point of the soldiers here? They're not doing anything. Like, they're just lazing around. And we actually do see that with one of the soldiers, but then he's complaining about his own thing. So we just see the entire situation is just really out of hand, right? But we say, oh, we're going to steal from the castle. And this guy lets it all out. He says the absolute truth. But see, that's the funny thing about Xenogears. Literally every old person or drunk person in Xenogears says it how it is. And usually they'll follow it up with, oh, but don't listen to me, I'm just an old guy, or I'm just drunk, or I'm just rambling, don't listen to me. But this is the one time where the guy, he was angry, he said it as it was, and he didn't even deny it either from himself. He didn't go, oh, but don't listen to me, I'm just an old person. So it's kind of interesting because the truth is so strong that he was bottling up this whole time, essentially. Because the dialogue we had earlier with him did not suggest he was affected by this until now. Like, obviously everyone was affected by this issue in the town, but, it's a fun little interesting thing that they put in if you if you make that dialogue choice. Don't get mad, Gramps. It's a joke. A joke. Look at me. Do I look like a thief to you? I don't get it. Oh. Oh! You! No, it couldn't be. Gramps, are you senile? It's true. It is me. Prince Bartholomew. I thought you died in that accident. Still alive. Still alive, and I'm gonna save my cousin being held in the castle. That's why I gotta sneak through the waterways. So help me out here, Gramps. Of course. So now we got the well key. Thanks, I appreciate it. Sorry about what I said before. Don't worry about it. I'm glad there are people like you worried about the country. Okay, so now that we have our key, we gotta go back to the nun, say we have our plan, and execute. Oops. Whoa. Okay, so I was trying to run forward, and then a little thing happened there, but, my bad. So this is a really good time to make a save, because after this point is kind of a point of no return for a while. I think you're allowed to at least go to the main town, but from memory. But for the most part, I'm keeping a save here for other reasons. Let's just put it that way. All right, up the stairs we go. Let's get Operation Ave going. Did you find a way into the castle? I just remembered where Bloodovic's water supply comes from. Spring water rises up from under the castle and flows to the town via the series of underground waterways. We can sneak into the castle by going through these underground waterways. We can get into them from the town's well. The waterways should lead right up to the castle's reservoir. If we're able to get that far, we should be able to sneak into the other rooms of the castle from there. Sounds good. Faye is in the tournament. He will draw the guards' attention. Then Bart will enter the castle through the waterways via the well. After that, he will rescue Margaret from the citadel. I will accompany Faye to the tournament. I will also help work the crowd and secure our escape. Preparations for our plan are complete. Tonight we will stay in the hotel and start tomorrow. We are free to do whatever we like for now. Let us have a look around town. No, we're good to go. We are good to go, man. Good, save your energy for tomorrow. Like, we already have all the equipment we need. And, while we could, go out and make some money, we don't need to right now. Good morning. Operation Rescue Margie is now underway. First, Faye and I will prepare for the tournament at the arena. When the tournament starts, Bart will enter in the waterway through the well and head for the castle. If you swim against the current, you should reach the castle. I am certain there will be some guards there, so please dispose of them quietly. We'll make a good show at the tournament to draw the guards' attention as long as possible. During that time, you can rescue Margie. Any questions? We got it. Then let us go. Be careful, young one. And, Shaitan with his Shaitanisms, as I like to call it, his let us go, then, all that. So this is a pretty interesting part in the game because, you might have remembered I grinded up some of the death blows for both Faye and Bart. And the reason for that is because of what's coming up. Actually, and Shaitan, but the reason for that explicitly is because with Bart, if you have some of the higher level death blows, you're going to have a way easier time with one of the boss battles that comes up. Because it's not easy. can actually kick your butt pretty hard, and you could be stuck having to blow through some of your resources, essentially. That's what I had to do back then, but at the same time, what you can do to get through it as well, I didn't know about this, but this is why leveling up is important. These martial arts tournaments are okay, but what if Gears, not people, fought it out? I'd like to see that. Oh my gosh. Okay, so what this guy is saying here... So for those of you who have played, I'm sure you already know what this guy's talking about. But for those of you who haven't, I won't spoil it yet, but just remember this, okay? Just remember this. Keep this in your head. Not the back, but like, you know, kind of there, circulating. That'd be such a cool idea, wouldn't it? My son's in it. I hope he doesn't get hurt. I'm so worried he's going to get hurt. But just to explain really quickly, so for those of you who have never played Xenogears, you have this, it doesn't show up here, but in order to use death blows, you need AP, but to use the death blows that cost, like, as you see here, it shows 4 and 5. The first death blow you get costs 4 AP, so by that point, you go from 3 to 4 AP. So you can perform 4 triangle attacks, 2 square attacks, 1 X, and that's basically, like, you know, the cost, 1 AP, 2 AP, 3 AP, right? So triangle and X makes 4 AP, right? So having 5 AP when you take a turn, you can just press triangle, end your turn, and you get 4 AP. And if you keep stocking that up, you can spam death blows back to back with a very interesting little system in the game. And you can use this to defeat a boss, actually a lot of bosses, very quickly when you're not in a gear. Who's Sarge betting on? Me, I'm for Big Joe. No way, bad choice. He's all hot air, believe me. Wise man's gonna win. Shut up, I was right last time. I'm not gonna listen to you. Wow, you picked the champ last time? You must have got something like 50 to 1. Yep, I blew it all in a week. What a waste. Yep, that's the Sarge. He's a man's man. So, as we've discussed, this town and how people's complaints about the guards are, oh, they're lazy, they do nothing. What's the point of having the guards in the city? I mean, here is a little bit of proof to that. You know, what are they even doing? They're just kind of relaxing, and they're not even being used in the war, yet a lot of villagers' sons, not villagers, but a lot of the town's sons are all getting sent to the war, where these guys are just kind of relaxing. Like, wait, these guys have had the job longer than them, and you're sending new, fresh blood straight into it. Like, right? That's why people are, like, really distraught. I was born and raised in Dazil, but this is my first tournament. Oh, cool. I come every year. This is my 3rd time. I only have to see him once to know who's the strongest. Are you fighting? You look pretty strong. Maybe a semi-finalist. Good luck. Aha! Interesting he says that. Recently, the fighters have been boring. It was better when the king was around. Hey, are you fighting? Give it up. No way you can beat Joe. Want to join Joe's fan club? If you join, you can come to our weekly coffee. We have a dinner show once a month, too. Big Joe's great, because he's kind of shady. Kids like you wouldn't understand. So, now, we saw Big Joe earlier in Dazil. If you remember, he was in the bar. And, you know, we got this, you know, this guy who was, like, talking big and everything. He was talking kind of, you know, almost like a caricature, a character, right? And now everyone's talking about this Big Joe guy that we only, you know, had this small impression of. They're talking like he is the hot, you know, he's the hot cheese, right? Hey, are you here for Joe too? So he has a lot of fans. I love pure fighting, especially all those different styles. I came all the way from Dazil. Now, you know, people are coming from Dazil, they've probably seen Big Joe as well. Get ready, it's starting soon. Hey, Grandpa, let's bet on someone too. No, betting's for losers. I brought you here because I want you to grow up and be a strong man. Strong enough to fight in the tournament someday. Man, how lame. It's like, here's Grandpa. Hey, what's up, Joshua Coons? This is one of the best games from PS1. Way better than Xenosaga and Xenoblade. The story is probably the best story of all RPGs. I 100% agree with you. Yeah, Xenogears is my life. Let's put it that way. Xenogears made me who I am today because the story was that good. And Takahashi was basically able to get away with almost anything he wanted for this. Woo! This is gonna be hot. I love the sound of folks smacking each other. And on top of that, I will say Xenoblade 3 has come very close to Xenogears. Very close. Because it hits on all the symbolisms, like a lot of the similar symbolisms. Eternal reoccurrence, Friedrich Nietzsche, and as well as Carl Jung's Unus Mundus network, right? The idea of the collective unconscious, all that stuff. Xenoblade 3 touches on a lot of the same elements from Xenogears, but it does it in a very different way, and it was so fun to break open and analyze and figure out, like, okay, what is Takahashi trying to say here, I want to see what some kind of fight was it. I want to see what kind of fighters came. The best men all joined the army. You sure about that? I'm for the ones that pay out big. Don't know much about martial arts, though. I could use a little extra house money. Alright, let's get this tournament on the road. But I like talking to the NPCs in here because they really tell you a lot more about what's going on in the world of Xenogears, and there's so much you can divulge. Close but no cigar? Only participants are allowed in here. Your friend will have to sit in the spectators area. Well, that is the intention. Well, then I'll be over here cheering for you. Do not beat him too soon. The better you do, the easier it will be for Bart to sneak in. On a I know, right? Like, when's the real episode 1, 2, and 3? I mean, I feel like that's what Takahashi's trying to do. Because, like, if you look at Xenoblade, right? Like, Xenosaga was supposed to be the technical episode 1, and all of it's 6 episodes, but it got cut down to 3, right? And then Xenoblade feels like it's starting over again, but it's instead like, what's really interesting about when you look at Xenoblade, the entire series, is it feels like it's trying to pull people in and work its way to Xenogears. Because if you notice, like Xenoblade 1, it threw in some things, but not much. It was being very simple, but look at what happened to the people who played Xenoblade with zero knowledge of Xenosaga and Xenogears. They were hooked. They were like, what in the world? I didn't know a JRPG could do that. I didn't know. I mean, I don't want to spoil anyone on Xenoblade 1, but they were surprised by things that are just common occurrence in Xenogears. They are the most flattest common occurrence in Xenogears. So we're not surprised, right? We're like, in terms of, what Xenogears did to us, we're kind of right here, right? We're like overly analytical, where everyone else is kind of like, they're getting to that point. They're catching up to Xenogears. And I think that's what Takahashi's trying to do. Xenoblade 1 is like very, very, very Xenogears baby light, Then Xenoblade 2 is like, well, we need to pull in more people. So they used anime, right? And Xenoblade X, anyway. And then Xenoblade 3 was like, okay, we're going to test you guys. We're going to give you something a little harder to chew on, a little more steak, but it's going to be soft still. It feels like a Xenogears light. Not a Xenogears light, a Xenogears light, So they're catching people up. And I think the next game, or who knows, the 2 games from now, it's going to be Xenogears level of crazy. It's going to be absolutely insane and difficult to digest. And I'm here for it. It is trying to shoehorn in as a Xenogears prequel, but is no equal. Need to see a prequel to watch it. Absolutely. I think with how good Xenoblade is doing as a series, I think they can convince Square to give the rights to Xenogears. I don't know why, but I'm feeling it, I feel like it can happen, that Takahashi can somehow get them to actually just give the rights for 1 or 2 games. That would be so cool, wouldn't it? I think it's possible. I mean, look at how good Xenoblade's doing, right? It could happen. The human body is weak. I always fight against rocket or metal. There is no way I can lose. Oh, okay. Uh-oh. Dan, what are you doing here? It's your fault that Alice. I'll never forgive you. I'm gonna kill you. So, to talk about could have had an epic franchise if they stuck to that, except two variants that wasn't a warrior. Wait, if they stuck to what? I'm curious. Um, but yeah, so to talk about this scene, now this is a very big analytical point that the Resonant Arc channel talked about. So, an interesting concept they brought up was maybe this was supposed to be Timothy, not, not Dan. And I was like, you know what? That makes a lot of sense because they do an interesting thing later where, well, I can't spoil that, but there's a thing later that also somehow suggests that Timothy maybe would have actually been the one at the tournament pissed at Faye for the death of his wife, right? Like, think about it. I mean, Dan makes sense because yeah, he's the little brother, but at the same time, it could have easily been Timothy as well, because he would also be equally just as upset about that, and even more betrayed because that was, Faye was his best pal as well. So but we don't know why they chose Dan. There's not really any interview explaining why was Dan chosen for this. It's of all the people, like it doesn't. So weird. You had the scientist and the lover that was never a warrior. Once when he was running away from Gazelle and the other from the... Oh, are you talking about the past? You're talking about the past moments in Xenogears that they probably would have elaborated on. Yeah, I guess I won't say their names to not spoil people, but yes, that would have been a sequel, not a prequel. Wait, now I'm trying to reverse on what are you responding to now? Because I know I've said so much stuff now, and I'm like, wait, am I 1 minute ahead and I'm seeing things 1 minute behind now? I think that's what's happening. But yeah, so that was otherwise the thing with Dan though. Dan, attention all participants, we'll be starting soon. Please enter the arena. Exploring Dan. Oh, okay. You're the enemy of everyone in Lahan. I'm gonna kick your butt in front of everyone, and don't be running away either. Dan. Hey, mister, are you from Lahan? Seems like you and that boy have some kind of problem. Who do you think you are? Mind your own business. What's so funny? Nothing. Just wondering what kind of fight you will have with that boy. Well, I'm looking forward to it, Faye. Huh? Yeah, wait, how does that guy know my name? Very, very, energy. I didn't enter my real name. Exploring Dan would not. No, 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 no. It was from okay, so I'm gonna refer you to a very incredible series of videos from a channel called Resonant Arc, and they did a full analysis of Xenogears, and it's the reason I am doing this stream. 100% is the motivating reason for me to do this, because they inspired me to just do it. I've had this in mind for years, and they had this going during COVID, and this this pushed my buttons enough to finally get me to do a full-on analysis, exploring the psychology, because that's a little bit more on my expertise. They looked at the literature elements of Xenogears, and they also looked at a lot of the interviews and other things that Takahashi had with with the game. So but in regards to that moment with Dan, they were questioning like, hey, could this have been a different character instead of being Dan in this very moment? Could this have been Tim that survived instead of Dan? And was Dan meant to actually be like, was there a reason for why they used Dan instead of Timothy? Because there's a scene later that suggests it could have easily been Tim. Um, And so this is like something they're talking like this is an analysis that they did, and they've done a lot of other things too. They talked about Carl Jung, Friedrich Nietzsche, eternal reoccurrence, and a lot of the what was it? The Friedrich Nietzsche, Frederick, no, Sigmund Freud, and a lot of the elements of how all of that plays into Xenogears, because all of those are real elements that, like the id, ego, superego exploration, etc. So they explore all of that. Yes, they're trying to say that while they had Tim die in chapter 1, they were wondering if the developers had originally intended for Tim to be the one that survived, and Dan would have been the one that died instead. Dan and Alice, of course, which would have equally, affected Tim psychologically the same way it does Dan. Um, so that's what they're looking at, essentially. But I'll post the link to their YouTube here, their analysis. I highly recommend watching it. It'll literally blow your mind. It blows open all the narrative and symbological elements of Xenogears. And I had played Xenogears twice before that, with like other just attempts of just me playing a little bit and then stopping halfway. But I'd beaten Xenogears twice. Then I played it a third time with them. They do it in a book club style where it's like, play up to this chapter, then we're going to discuss these elements. Oh, and I had my mind blown. The scientist and the lover not being included in the prequel would have been epic, especially. Yeah, yeah, for sure. Sorry for the whole tangent, everybody. Or not tangent, but just like me getting all passionate about this. It's about to start. I guess I better get ready too. Is this plan really going to work? It's already started. If something's wrong now, then that's tough. What are you worried about? They'll do okay. Besides, Shaitan's with him too. Now, all I gotta do is sneak into the castle through the well. No problem. I pray so. Well, I'm going. Margie's waiting in the citadel. Well then, do be careful, and thank you for helping Mother Margaret. No sweat. You'd better get out of Ave now, too. Things are gonna get out of hand soon. Thank you. So, now we are going to be going with Bart. There's not gonna be anything too crazy here, narratively, that happens with Bart at the moment. I think there was a scene with Ramses somewhere that's interesting, though. I'm trying to recall it. Oh man. Anyway. Brave young men are spilling their blood on the front lines. Our army is the best, but the tides of war are uncertain. To protect the tradition of Ave and preserve peace in the desert, we must all unshaken resolve. The desert is precious treasure passed down to us and the ancestors, and we here we could forge our minds and bodies into one. Our teachers are in the sun and the wind. We've gathered here today with the strong bodies, forged by the desert, the sun above us, is the same as which burns over the fathers at the front, with the wind blowing and the, oh my gosh, same with the wisps, resolve prayers to the sons of the front. This tournament raises our spirits and renews the blessings from the desert we live in. Brave ones, warriors, fight well and do not shame our brothers at the front. Oh my god, I was not expecting that to go as fast as it was. That was probably the fastest text in the game thus far yet. Actually, there was times where they get interrupted, but oh my gosh. Kind of like Revenge of the Sith, showing him becoming the entity of destruction. Yeah. All right. So, that's a lot of nothing. I mean, like, if you consider everything about what we've heard in Ave, right? Let's recall some of those keynotes. People are pissed at this guy for sending their sons to war, etc. They're spilling their blood. He even says it, himself. But he's like, oh, let's not shame our brothers. You are already shaming them. Let the 338th tournament begin. I don't even think he's here for the tournament. He's not. He really isn't. Because he has his own thing going on. A moving speech, if I do say so myself. See? He's just in it for himself. He's just like, oh yeah, that sounded so cool. Oh, Commander Ramses. Sorry to have kept you waiting. This way, please. I remember reading that the first time, missed out on most of it. The second playthrough, I had to pause a bunch to catch it all. Crap, I didn't realize I could pause there. Oh, man. I'm afraid I do not have time for such gay revelry. Of course he means happy. I just dropped by to bid you farewell. What a pity. You did not like our entertainment? I find it boring. Oh, let it be Commander Shakan is only trying to show out hospitality. Hospitality. Did I say hospitality? Wow. I personally find martial arts quite interesting. I look forward to seeing the tournament. To say this event is a tribute to you, Commander, is no understatement. Your gracious help in our time of need enabled us to celebrate the country's founding today. Founding? How impudent. It's not even your country. Do as you like. So, as you see, Ramses is very, very matter-of-fact. Myung, how about the tournament? Will you grace us with your company? Yes, it would be a pleasure. So, try to remember this scene, everybody. At least Myung deciding to stay here to watch. There's a reason for it. Let's just put it that way. There's a reason for actually, anything Myung does, just know there's a reason for. Oh, it's starting. Oh, Gonzalez versus beloved boxer. Yes, I called Faye the beloved boxer. He is my beloved boxer. I feel so bad for him, the poor bean. My, what a handsome boy. Alright, so, I mean, this isn't so bad to get through. I'm gonna death blow later, because I wanted to see, like, yeah, they weren't really all that strong or anything. They were basically no threat. But there's this unique animation. You don't see this again anywhere else, by the way. So, it was worth seeing that. I mean, he basically did like a Street Fighter super move, or actually reminds me of Chang from King of Fighters almost. Especially that part where he starts spinning around his little mace there. So, we're gonna at least heal once, in case we don't get the kill, which is fine. Pop, 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 pop. Oh, we got the kill. Hey, and we got a survival tent out of it. That's good. We don't need to buy any then. So, the reason to give the survival tent is, you know, in case you gotta heal between. But we have Hob Jerky. Use your Hob Jerky, folks. Just use it. You can't use it in battle. I very rarely used the death blows except on buses so I could build up my percentage. Unless I can... Yeah, absolutely. That's what I usually do too. Right now I have to level him up until he unlocks the next AP bar, so, you know. Might as well use him. But what I'm going to do this time also is I'm actually going to show off the death blow spam. I always ended on square instead of X. Yeah. Yeah, because a lot of stuff requires square. That's the funny part. Like, sure, there's triangle too, but a lot of stuff requires, you know, requires square. Especially the this level. I mean, the 6 AP cost death blows all require square in it. So, and that one gets not used quite much. Oh no! Ah, push! We gotta swim against the current. Oh. Here. Yeah, we're kind of stuck in the thing right now. Oh, man. Swim, Bart. Swim. There we go. Okay, now we can finally swim again. Push, Bart, push! Swim, swim, swim! That's all that's... Uh-oh. Okay, so we just gotta hope we hold this position. Essentially how this section works is, you'll get pushed all the way back if you don't hold it. I kind of messed up there because my finger slipped. Okay, there we go. Swim, 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 Bart, swim like a fish. Go, 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 Bart, you're a goddamn shark. I don't know what I'm saying. Now, another interesting thing you can do, though, if you get behind the wall, it doesn't push you back. Yeah. Oops, I went the wrong way. Where was the... Okay, do you remember where the thing was? There's a treasure chest you can get only by going through the... That's right. It was the aquarium at the restaurant. I'm trying to go there. Okay, so now we have the Nets battle. So here I'm going to demonstrate the little death blow spam thing. Hey, it's Joe time! Look at this guy. He is the star of the show, even though, it's Joe. The combo. That's what it was. So, just gonna end the combo there, and I gain 4 AP. Oh yeah, the fans hit harder than Joe. As you see. Great and dynamic! Look at him, he's like snapping his fingers, cheering for support. This is also why I'm saving up for the combo thing, because any first damage I do is negligent, essentially. Negligible. Wow, I said negligent. Okay, this is a good cycle. We'll probably have to throw in 1 heal. Great and dynamic. Okay, I think we have enough to spam. Yeah, that's gonna hurt. We won't survive the Nets fan attack. And if I get unlucky, that would be bad. So, let's use... Yeah, let's use, inner healing. Just to be safe. Great! That's it. Just great. Just great. Alright. So, now we spam. And this might finish him off in 1. Even if it's just 3 of these. But this is how you can kill Ramses very fast. It also will outdo whatever healing he does in one turn. Great! Okay, good. That works out all right. Good. Okay, we should survive the next one unless he attacks us in 2 more cycles. So this time I'm just going to go for Raijin spam, and we should be good. Oh, almost. Almost. All right. Boom. There it is. And we get no experience because he's a weak loser. We do, however, get the metal vest. And you know who that's going to? Not Faye. No, sir. No, sir. That is not going to Faye. Faye will be okay. In fact, I think we already have... No, we don't. But this does give a nice defensive boost, but we're not actually going to use it on Faye. We're giving that to Bart. Oops. Bar. We're giving it to Bar. We need all the defense we can get on this boy. Because if you notice, he had 40 defense, not 41 like Faye does. So, I'm not saying that... I mean, little numbers do big effects in Xenogears, but... but... Knowing what's coming up for Bart, I need to survive this. Okay, I think this goes up to the aquarium. There it is. I want this chest. There we go. Received gold nugget. Yes, we just made some money. Bye! I like how the person looks through the aquarium, the server, and they're like, oh, wait, what? Oops. I was trying to hold up to jump away. Yeah, now they're so confused. They're like, what? Why is he back? What's going on? Ugh. In the beginning, it does. Later game, you only carry one armor. The rest, status effects. Yeah. Yeah, of course. Oh, and we want this. Received Rosal S. That we don't come across those. I mean, it's a nice way to save money, just picking up whatever you can. But I'm gonna be making sure to use items this time to make a lot of battles go faster. Because one thing that I don't do enough of in some RPGs, and I'm trying to break the habit of, is using items and and not just letting them sit there. Like, sometimes you're holding 10 elixirs, and you have to be like, well, I might not use one every boss battle, but why not just make my life easier and use it for this one, right? Talking about Final Fantasy, of course. So I can't remember if the other way had something from memory, the way to the right. But I know we're supposed to swim against the current, obviously. However, I do remember this one. You didn't get behind the wall to stop it from pushing. I know, I forgot. I totally forgot. This one doesn't have a wall, though, this time. Should I go back? Should I go back the other way? I feel like I should. I should pick up whatever's on the other side. I might as well, right? Also, what I might do is, for the video I'm recording on the side, the short version of this, I might... Oh, wait. Where did that go again? I'm trying to recall where these go. Oh, it went in a goddamn circle, didn't it? I knew I shouldn't have went down there. I should have just trusted my... Wait. No, that goes... Oh, wait, was this the way forward? Oh, this is the way forward. We'll be okay. We'll be okay. Oh, wait a sec. That's not the way forward. That's a break. That's right. But we're fine. We're not going to sell that gold nugget yet. We don't need anything that we need to buy here. There's nothing of value that we need to buy from Ave. Okay, so I'm going to pause the recording part of the stream. All right, the next battle. Scud, check out my magic. Wait, pills? What? I missed that. I looked away for literally 1 second. So I'm going to activate Iron Valor for this one. And we're actually going to fight it normal this time. As weird as that might be. Okay, it was magic pills. Do your thing, Faye. Happy pill. Oh, right. Okay, so I could do the same thing I just did before. I could. Ugh. No. Yeah, I'm gonna do the combo trick again. just because it'll make things a little faster. Ugh. Okay, so, who wants to see this? Oh, I forgot about that. Ooh! Strong pill. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing we're doing this. So, now we're gonna just go ham. Just a second, people. I'll be right back. This was supposed to be FF7, and oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, because essentially this was the staff coming off of Chrono Trigger at the time. This was also supposed to be Chrono Trigger 2, believe it or not. Before it became the next Final Fantasy, or was supposed to be the next Final Fantasy, it was actually supposed to be the next Chrono Trigger game, Chrono Trigger 2. Which is why you see the same names, such as, was it the first one we saw Balthazar appear, and then the other two the other, like the 3 wise sages. The 3 wise sages from Chrono Trigger, their names are still in the game, which is really hilarious. So, essentially, and it's not that they didn't get that kind of budget. Actually, on the interview, the reason why they Square decided, like, hey, you know what, just make this your own game, was because they said the main character and everything that happens in the game is too dark even for standards of Final Fantasy, essentially. So despite, them doing Cloud, the way he was, they were like, this is far darker than that, and maybe a little bit too dark for Final Fantasy even. And certainly too dark for Chrono Trigger, which is kind of funny. When you think about it, right? But you know what? Maybe that kind of worked out a little better in that way. Not to mention, did you know the game was actually known as Project Noah during its development? And guess what the main character's name of Xenoblade 3 is? Noah. And that's why a lot of elements from Xenogears, including the DLC oh my gosh, I still need to play Final Fantasy 16. I'm waiting for it to come to PC now. But that's why, we see a reference to Faye, literally, in Xenoblade 3's DLC. Matthew, while he doesn't share all the same elements as Faye, he does share the same conflict. Wait. I'm sorry, I just realized the chat that I'm showing on stream has not been... Oh man, I feel stupid. Even though I didn't change my setup at all. That's kind of annoying. What in the world? This should be displaying the chat. What's going on there? Hold up. I'm gonna make sure the chat can be seen. Ah, the URL changed. That's why. There we go. Now everyone can see it. Now everyone can see that I'm not talking to myself. I'm not talking to myself, guys. I'm not crazy. I'm not making all this up. Why? Okay. All right. But yeah. There's so much interesting information in regards to Xenogears. Not to mention, it wasn't entirely, like, more so than money, it was actually time. Square literally said, hey, you need to wrap up. We don't have any more time. We want to release Final Fantasy VII, all that. We want to do Final Fantasy VIII, etc. We want to get the staff moving, right? And they said, just end the game and just make a Xenogears 2. And Takahashi was like, no, I might not get to do Xenogears 2. Like, he could read the writing on the wall that they would totally not approve of a Xenogears 2. He said he wanted to get the story done all in one and say what he has to say and wrap up whatever loose ends within Xenogears and what we know of Xenogears up. So that's why this 2, it wasn't that it was rushed. He just made the decision to do exposition instead, in that he wouldn't have to rush, and that's why we have the famous exposition chair. He decided just give the information rather than, like, yes, the development was rushed, but he intentionally did the exposition chair rather than rush and cut off the game with a cliffhanger as Square wanted them to. Definitely check out that analysis video because they talk all about it. It's really fascinating. But the exposition chair both kind of worked to Xenogears' advantage and disadvantage. I thought a lot of people hated it, but it turns out a lot of people actually loved this too, because the pacing of the story was considered better. And I was like, oh, I never thought about that, because when you go through an RPG, it goes like this: story, world map, if it has one, battle, 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 dungeon, story, town, or even story, battle, 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 story, battle, 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 or you could say story, dungeon with battles, story, dungeon with battles, or even story, travel across world map to another story, aka town, because a lot of story stuff happens in town. Go to dungeon, complete dungeon, story happens within dungeon, story happens at beginning of dungeon, maybe story happens throughout the dungeon to make things more interesting, right? But story gets cut off between combat and exploring and all this other stuff and side questing. So all of a sudden we had story and story and story and then boss battle and then story, 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 maybe a dungeon. I agree with you with Rebirth. I have yet to play 16, but I imagine it's a similar issue where the negative of open world, and it can't be helped though, because it's not like FF7 didn't have breaks between its story. It had a crap ton of breaks, all set by you exploring around, right? And you can get distracted with other things, technically. Rebirth makes it get distracted with more things. Now, I love a lot of the actually, a lot of the same Xenogears elements actually appears in Rebirth, which is really fascinating. Crazy fascinating, even. Cloud is experiencing even things that weren't emphasized on before, which is really like, whoa, and he's beginning to become a little bit more like Faye, which I find curious, but at the same time, yeah, like 16 had too much exposition. Rebirth had I think Rebirth could have benefited more from exposition. I agree. I liked a lot of the world exploration. I liked learning about the world of FF7. I love that. I love learning about the worlds of any RPGs. And when that is left out from an RPG, I throw a fit. I need to know everything about the world. How do people live? Where do they use the restroom? I know, kind of crazy, but guess what? Xenogears even had a restroom here and there. So I know people use the restroom. As weird as that is. Like, I want to know if they live like people. So the basic eating food, how did they live? How did they sleep? What is day-to-day work life like, right? I want to know how these people live. Now, I don't care what they do in the restroom. I just care that they actually function like actual real-life people if you're giving me human beings. And if they aren't human beings, if they are aliens or any kind of species, well, what's their life like? How do they live day-to-day? Do they work? Do they eat? Do they not eat? Do they, I don't know, absorb nutrients by putting their hand against a wall and just absorbing all the bacteria off of it? I don't know, but I want to know, So FF7 Rebirth kind of fulfilled that. It's like, wow, now I know how people live in Final Fantasy VII, because I've always been curious, What is the day-to-day life like beyond just an NPC telling me, man, I want to go to the bar and blah, blah, blah. Like, okay, people go to bars, but, do people have hobbies? Right? Um, yeah, I mean, whoops, I shouldn't get too distracted though. So let's just use another ob jerky. And so Sitstein having too much exposition. Um, and yeah, like I like story. Now I love playing visual novels. One of the other things that's popular on my channel, maybe it's the only thing that's popular on my channel, is Banana Ranch. I'm not going to say anything more about what Banana Ranch is because I know most people will not share that same interest that I do. But big but, um, you know, I'm used to a lot of exposition. Final Fantasy Tactics was my jam back then. I would say that's another game that formed my interests. The political intrigue involved in Final Fantasy Tactics, the question of religion and government and etc. And like what is corruption? What is morally incorrect and correct? What is law meant for? What is you know what like is it wrong to fight against your own system knowing that you might be seen as a heretic, things like that, right? And I found it very fascinating. Tactics is the GOAT. I agree. Like, Ramza he is your hero, right? He's your hero character. But, like, just, I guess he shares a similar quality to Cloud in that they are both enemies of their, of what would be considered the higher power in their world, you know? Maybe I should go back. We'll be fine. We'll be fine. It's got to be the floodgates. Here we go, guys. We got to swim. But, yeah, what was it? Cloud, he's a rebel against, well, he's a mercenary, but he's working with eco-terrorists, right? And then Ramza is, his own form of, he's a heretic against the entire world. The religious order of things, the government, the ruling power, etc. Because corruption is happening everywhere in that game. It's crazy. It's this divide between the high class and the low class, and oh my gosh, the haves and the have-nots. Which, by the way, the haves and the have-nots appear in Xenogears. Right? With the W word, the W word. We'll get to that when we do, in the game. For those of you who are watching for the first time, what? Playing in the reservoir again? Get up out of there now, boy. Yeah, sure thing, man. Okay. So we're in, and we're sneaking about. Kid, how many times must I tell? How many years has it been? Well, haven't you grown up? Are you really a child, the child I used to play hide and seek with? Is this some sort of joke? Well, answer me. What are you babbling on about? Old man, even back when I was a child, you used to ramble on and on, but I see it's gotten worse. So once again, another person that Bart knows from before he escaped the, Abe. What? Ramble? Did you say I rambled on? Well, why you little brat? The only people who I ever allowed to call me a rambler were my late mother and the young prince. His Highness. What was his name? You mean His Highness Prince Bartholomew? Yes, His Highness Prince Bartholomew. Boy, you certainly know a lot. If Bartholomew was alive, he'd be about your age. Did you know that both he and his family were killed by that Shakan? You won't beat me, Shakan. I'll protect Ave's water till I die. In remembrance of the kindness of the king and the young prince. Really? Thanks, old man. Father would be glad. What do you mean, father? Are you the son of an acquaintance of mine? Wait, I remember. This is such a great scene. No, that's not it. I don't recall the king having any secret sons. Sorry, but I don't have time to explain. You'll remember. See ya. Who was that? Now, it's funny that he goes, who was that? Because, like, I'm assuming that Bart runs at this point, and the old man would go, who was that, right? Kind of like in the, in the animes and all that. Like, oh, see ya, dude. Crazy little big things. Hello, welcome. You think Square is thinking about a remake or a... Well, not Square, per se. Actually, I'll have a secondary save, but... Uh, Square might not be thinking about it unless... Oh, no, Square owns it. Square owns it still. It's just, they don't have Takahashi to helm it. That's the problem. Xenogears dude, the guy who is the brains, as well as his wife, Soryasaga. Soryasaga, I'm not sure where she is still, but Takahashi, he's doing Xenoblade, of course. However, on the other hand, Square still does own it because they keep inserting, like Xenogears into other properties as well as... We're going to actually fight this guy. I know we're supposed to be sneaky, but we're going to fight this guy. But yeah, they put Faye, for instance. Faye, Ellie, Bart, Chiton, and I think even Billy into Brave Exvius. And yep, they released music for Xenogears as well. But as much as, like, and it's so weird that they do that. Like, they could remaster it, but if they were ever to remake it, they might try to hire Takahashi or Monolith Soft. I don't know what's the deal between Monolith Soft and Nintendo, or if they're owned by Nintendo, because they worked with Namco Bandai in the past, as you know. So I don't know if they're entirely owned by Nintendo. But chances are, if they were ever to remaster Xenogears in some way, they would either do it without Takahashi's help and just try to only, like, oh, I don't know, up-res the graphics in some way, etc. I don't even think they have the source code, though, so they would even up-res it or anything. They would probably just, like, at least remake the sprites and all that, and just keep everything the same and have no voice acting. Or they might add voice acting, but that would require a completely new localization. Something which I don't see them putting any effort into because, once again, Takahashi, they would probably rather just have Takahashi at that point. Because even Ted Woolsey, with this localization, struggled really hard to make sense of all the different symbolisms and have it come across in a way that the player might be able to understand it at the bare minimum. They own Xenogears game, but not... Yeah, they do not own Xenosaga or Xenoblade. The creators no longer... Yep. If they remake it, they would have to pay an exorbitant amount. Yes. Yes. That is precisely one of the bigger issues with... what was it? With why Xenogears just might not come back. Here we go. What are you doing here, Dan? I escaped from Yui's place. I'm here to avenge my sister's death. Please, Dan, stop it. Shut your mouth. I'll never forgive you, you murderer. What do you want me to do? Well, you know what we're gonna do? We're not going to fight. I'm gonna take you down. And did I trick you all for a second, going about to attack? This is for Lahan! This is for Timothy! This is for my sister! So if you beat him up, you'll get nothing out of this fight, but if you don't... It's amazing they put all this work into animating him, too. That disc 2, though, I want to see it to it... Yeah, I want to see to it... I want to see it all its true form... at its true form. Oh, at its true form. Sorry, I have to, like, squint a little bit. Yeah, it's great. But yeah, all we're doing here is just defending. Because why would you attack your own, your own friend? They wouldn't. Yeah, I was catching up crazy little big things. So this will go on for just a bit longer. Ooh, you know what? I'm going to heal. I'm gonna heal, because I know what's coming up, and I forgot how much damage it does if I defend it. I think it was about, like, 20 to 40. Oh, wait, he's doing it. Damn you, Faye. Why don't you fight back? Come on, I challenged you. Wait, no, maybe he's not doing it. That's amazing that he didn't do it. I can't. There's no way I could ever bring myself to strike you, Dan. Darn! Taking you down easily like this isn't gonna satisfy the souls of my sister or Timothy. Blast. I'll save this duel for later. The next time I meet you, it's going to be your funeral, scum. Until then, hang on to this. So, you know what's fascinating? I don't know if I just wasn't paying attention, but he did not... So, he can use Faye's guided blast, or his guided energy, but the gear version, like the big Kamehameha version, he can actually do that. And I'm surprised it never happened once. I was like, oh, I better heal just in case he does it. And he didn't. What? Not once. How does that happen? That should have happened. I'm really surprised. Every time you look at it, I want you to suffer and feel the guilt for what you did. Took possession of Alice's wedding dress. Because if you remember, he went in and saved the wedding dress. Dan, Shut up! I don't want to hear your stupid excuses. Hey, you're such a bastard! Guided shot. Thank you. So now we have the wedding dress, which you can actually wear for an interesting statistical increase to certain stats. So Faye is good. The Kamehameha, yeah. The Kamiyamama, or the Kamehameha, as two people have once said on... there was that little video going around on, like, you know, on social media. Oh my gosh. The people trying to describe Kamehameha and failing. I think... Could we put the wedding dress on anyone? Yeah, we can. But once again, I say it's a very interesting statistical increase, because this has better defense than the leather vest and all that. But the bigger thing that you gotta focus on here is ether defense. This is actually quite useful for some scenarios, because like I said, small numbers actually have a big effect in this game. So having that little extra bit of ether defense actually can edge you out in some battles. Not that we'll need to worry about it here. We're going to be dealing with a lot of physical attacks, which is why I put the metal vest on Bart, which I'm sure Joshua knows what's coming. But we'll save that for the people who don't know what's coming. But of course, this is a good time to also explore around and collect things. The Cobra Kakra, yeah. Well, Kakra, wow. The Cobra Kraka. So this we're equipping just because. Now, yes, I know I did say small numbers and da 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 da. 1 point is significant, but poison though. It's okay if there's a guard outside. We're fine. I grinded a bit. I specifically brought a few Aquasouls just for this. Just in case. But, okay, I will show you guys, for those who haven't tried this option, I'll show you what peeking outside the door looks like. And it's just interesting that they went out of their way to put such an option. Hey, dude, what's up? What's up? How you doing? How you doing? Don't get in my way. I'm rehearsing for tomorrow's meeting. Okay, well, you keep doing that. I'm gonna just look at these weapons here. Damn, this is some fine military equipment you have here. Oh, you just noticed. Who are you? Why do you look like that? Oh, I love it. And I love that happened, and then battle, right? So here we can't do anything much. But I will show you what it looks like if someone dodges a lot of attacks in a row. And how Faye looks flying upwards. Off air. He is kicking the air so hard. You know? Alright, you have fun. It's a long video, and all of it's long. There's a lot of videos, but you know, if you're not doing anything, I highly recommend it. If you're just like playing a video game, grinding, or doing whatever that doesn't require much focus, have that on the side to listen to, and watch your mind be blown. I like how Faye also flips backwards after that. What a wimp. What a wimp. Whee! Boo, boo, boring. Come on, fight properly. This is not good. At this rate. Just as I thought. Huh? You, where did you learn that technique? Who cares where? Come on now. Come on now. Put up a serious fight. So then, why do you fight? For yourself or for the sake of others? Why do you ask that for? Doesn't there have to be a reason or a goal for a person to fight? My reasons for fighting are none of your business. So, you are fighting for no reason or goal. Would you shut up? I'm in the middle of finding for my purpose. So, I find that little sentence interesting. Finding for my purpose. I'm not. It's an interesting way to word that. I mean, he's finding his purpose, and that comes out because he's trying to pull that out of him, right? And then forget it. There's no way you could find such. So, nostalgia. I remember him. If only Faye, knew who the Masked Man was. Yes. So once again, storytelling-wise, this is a character who seems to already know this this guy's name, and he's asking him where he learned that technique, and he's saying you're not going to find any such purpose. Like, how does he know this, right? He's letting on so much more than he knows. What? You appear to be looking forward, but in reality, you're only looking downward. You're only looking at yourself. Like that, you'll find nothing. How would you know? I know, by exchanging blows with you, you can tell a great deal. That's just an excuse. But he's not wrong also. Faye is indeed looking downward. In other words, you know, a little bit of a little hint for depression. Shut up! Weak, weak. You won't even graze me with those kind of attacks. But superficially, at least, it seems you've matured physically. So, the only thing he's saying here is, all you've done is grow. That's it. Mentally, not so. You've done well in recovering from those wounds, Faye. How do you know my name? I deliberately didn't use my real name when I entered this contest. And that thing about me recovering from my wounds. You aren't who I think you are. But you aren't who I think you are. So now he has a little bit of an idea. What? Oh my. Is it already that time? I guess it can't be helped. I've got to be on my way. Wait! I want to ask you! Everyone's pissed off. It seems the competitor Wiseman has forfeited. The remaining competitor will automatically be awarded victory. What? Are you... what? Are you serious? Boo, boo! Yeah, I won the bet! Wiseman. So an interesting scene. We get a lot of questions once again, and he says, "You're not who I think you are." So, you know, if you remember, we talked to some people at the town, right, Lahan, and they said, "Oh, a mysterious guy in a hood who was wearing a mask carried him to the door." He, and Faye was just not even there. He was just like, where, and he eventually came to, and he was normal, at least to the villagers, right? So now we have our battle here. And these guys are a non-issue. Surya! But yeah, lots of cool stuff they have in here. So now I'm gonna show you what it's like when we take a peek. And they let you peek out that one way, right? And if there is someone out there, you'll actually see their sprite, kind of moving towards you and all that. So I'll try to show that when there's a guard nearby and I could run into the room. But we're gonna check the other side now, because you can find a few things here, and we could also get some experience, which will if I get lucky. I mean, I don't think we'll be able to learn the next attack yet, but this is enough seasoning. They will be tired out from today's tournament. I'm busy. Get out of my way. While this is warming, I'll get this ready. Was I cutting vegetables? No, wait. Hey, you're talking to me. You're talking to me got me all mixed up. I wonder how the tournament's going. I'd like to go see it, but the head chef won't let me. I wonder if the beloved boxer is winning. So kind of funny that he decided to bet on the beloved boxer. It was probably like, there in the morning. Or he heard about it. We're not interested in gambling, right? Yep. Hey guys. I'm right here. Guys, do you guys see I'm not one of you? Yep, a festival means liquor. You got it. Oh man, the guy we all bet on lost his first fight. Now all we could do is drink. You got it. So does anyone want to answer the elephant in the room? No one. Anyone? Apparently not. Wonder if there's anything good here. What are they eating? Look at this. So another thing I also like with Xenogears is just how much detail they put into. Like, they didn't need to make this food 3D. They could have just done a 2D texture on top of these, things or whatever, but they didn't. They went the extra mile, and they actually made it this livable thing. This is where the people in Ave's castle eat. This is their little mess hall. And we could see where the chefs would come out, put the food here, put the plates there. People can pour themselves a drink. Like, this is so lived in. It's amazing to me. I love it. And I think that's like one thing with RPGs, like you want to see that it's lived in. Oops. Okay, so I was trying to go back in there to see if I could like make, show you the guards animation. They're still upstairs too, so we'll take advantage of that. Da, na, 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 na. Da, ba, 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 ba. Oh, you know what? We're getting to 1 hour and 20 something. So I'm going to probably end the episode for those on the recording side of things. And then I'll continue. Okay, so for those of you who are watching the recorded version of this live stream, I'll be ending the episode here, and I'll be starting the recording again because I'm still streaming. So you'll get your next hour of stuff there. So be back.